Where are, I can't, are the slate, are those ours? Did we do that? Not him.
He said you just go out around the corner from where the
Okay.
restaurant is.
Yeah, that's what we sent to regional planning and everything else.
Okay, so that's what we were told them we were taking.
Yeah.
Goes down to Big Pine. Yeah, that's movable away.
Oh, thank you. Perfect.
Just look down.
Of roses, tulips.
Yeah, we're okay. So I did myself part. I was looking at last one and I thought it was this one because it was a kind of a duplication. Okay,
We had a big slider door in the living room, kitchen, and I went downstairs. And I let you know in my bedroom, I could sit in the chair, lay in bed. I don't know what they did. It's awesome. It was great. So this is better.
okay, we're on. Everything's on.
So we're going to call this meeting to order. This is Monday, June 12th, Osnaburg Township Trustee meeting. Stand for the pledge and short devotion. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You bow your heads. Dear Lord, we thank you so much for the rain that you brought to us today and the goodness that it'll bring to our crops and our grass. We pray that you be with our employees, our fire, our EMS, our road crew, our zoning, all of our employees as they're doing new due diligence to make the best out of our township that they can. Amen.
Amen.
Welcome, everyone. Sorry we're a couple minutes late getting started. I want to make one announcement, and that is we have a hearing at 8:30. So wherever we're at in that agenda, we'll be stopping and doing that hearing. And that is on a submission to us from the zoning commission on a change in regulations. So with that, have you had a chance to review the agenda? Any changes?
Yeah, I need a short executive session, will take long, no action being taken.
So if
At
there's
the end.
no action, we'll do it at the very end.
I had a couple of things I'll mention.
Okay, anything for you, Cliff?
Just an update on the ambulance.
Okay, so we'll put that in fire.
Yep.
All right, with that, have you had a chance to review the,
I had on fire, I have 2, and under cemetery, I have 2.
okay, fiscal officer will have 2 under fire and a couple under cemetery also. Additions to the agenda. Have you had a chance to review the minutes from May 22nd?
Trustee Bureau moves to accept them as presented.
Trustee Varian, second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Have you had a chance to review the treasurer's report?
Trustee Varian moves to accept the treasurer's report as presented.
Trustee Bureau says.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And with this, we're going to move into public speaks. I don't see anyone here. So with that, we're gonna move on, and we're gonna go straight to the fire report.
I just have a couple things. We did not end up loading an ambulance in the city of Canton. Had something to do with insurance, so we didn't do that. We have gear that was cleaned after we had a hazmat incident. That total is $237.40, and that's gonna be reimbursed to us after we bill the company that's responsible for the leak. Once we pay them, or bill them through Ohio billing.
Okay, what was that total?
$237.40.
Do we need a PO for that to get that done?
Yeah,
Okay, who's the payer, who's
it's gonna be
the
going to Turnouts LLC.
turnouts? Alright.
Are you, who's preparing the bill of bill, do you know?
I do not know.
Because I haven't had anything given to me to prepare anything. I mean, is something,
Dale, do you know, is this event announced? It's already been done?
They already cleaned the gear. We just have to pay them so we can get it back.
Oh, got it. Okay, it's sitting there cleaned. It needs to be,
Yep.
okay.
so we're gonna get a bill from,
From turnouts?
Yes.
and then that bill is going to be submitted by who, me, or who's submitting it?
I'm not sure on that.
Okay. Because I haven't received anything yet.
All right, well, I will be responsible to ask Amy on who's to turn that in. I'll do that tomorrow. Okay, trustee Barry moves to pay Turnouts LLC $237.40 for the cleaning of gear after hazmat.
Trustee Pierce, second.
All in favor?
Aye. I'll talk to Amy on that one.
The next thing I have is that same gear that got cleaned. They also look over it, see if there's any repairs that are needed. Both sets of gear do need repairs made. One set needs repairs totaling for $203.70. And the other set of gear needs repairs that's going to total $312.35. That second set of gear, it only has 3 years left of life on it, and then it's going to be out of service till it hit that 10-year mark. Chief Parker asked for me to see what you guys would like to do, and if we would like to not repair that second set and just move forward with ordering a new set of gear whenever we have the funds for that gear set aside.
So once they've cleaned it, do they let you pick it back up?
We can. There's a lot of tears in both sets of gear that are
Okay.
just going to get worse.
Okay.
How much is a new set?
New set is $2,350.
Say the number one more time.
$2,350.
And the repair is 300.
312.35.
Then you got 3 years left on them.
On both of them?
No, just the second set. That's
312.
312.
The 30270, do you know how many years you have on that one?
That one, it probably has 8 years left.
Oh, okay.
It's newer gear.
Can you tell me, were those odd sizes or those sizes that we're sharing? Or, because I know we were short some sizes.
The set that only has 3 years left is actually my personal gear. So it's pretty much a normal size.
Okay.
Is it safe? That's repaired?
Once they repair it, it'll be safe. At this time, it's just my outer layer is ripped in several areas and they're getting bigger.
Yeah.
Were you rolling around on the ground?
Were you rolling around?
Captain Nelson, I have on my agenda approval for a turnout gear from fire safety for 2005-14. That has nothing to do with what we're talking about.
No, it does not.
So that's the other part, because I budget out about 10 grand a year for two to four sets of turnout gear. So what you're talking about is going to be a whole nother cost.
Yes.
Okay.
3 years to wow.
Yeah, I'd fix it.
For $300.
Yeah,
I wouldn't.
So where are we at in the cycle for funding on that? Have we purchased 4 turnouts this year?
We have got our bill on the first load, which was 2,000. That's what's on the agenda that is typed up there, that 215-14.
Okay.
There's some other parts, pieces of that. Right now, when we get done with that, we'll have about 60. So I'm taking a look here. Bear with me. We'll have
While he's looking, you want to go ahead and do your calls?
I have one other thing here as well. SCBA bottles need to be hydro tested. We have 9 that are due for hydro testing. It has to be done under 5 years. And that total is $456.17. And that's gonna have to be completed this year, or those bottles have to be out of service.
Well, they sent you having to spend quite a amount of money, didn't they? That wasn't fair. That wasn't fair to them.
That's why she
Say
said-
that number again.
456.17.
And then this will also be the last time they can be hydro tested. So in the next 5 years, we'll have to get new SCBA's to replace these ones.
So we have till the end of this calendar year.
We probably have about 2 to 3 months.
And that, how many bottles is that?
9.
9.
You have $6,686 for the turnout gear.
And is that through June of next year or
No,
what's
that's just to the end of this
to the
year.
end of this year? So we still have money for to purchase 2 turnouts.
Well, if you get this one at that quote, that will take that down to 2, that'll be around 4. You'll be looking at, you probably could only get 1 because there's other gear these guys need
Yeah.
other than that turnout.
One more
that's
other
on-
than this one.
No.
Yeah.
No, you're saying we only have enough, you could buy one.
I can buy 1 more set,
Yeah.
but we got to leave ourselves a little bit of a cushion. So there's other stuff like face masks, things that pop up, a couple hundred here, a couple hundred.
What was the 2 prices on repairs?
207, 203 and 70 cents, and 312 and 35 cents. And 2037 is 8. They're a couple years old. They got 8 years left on them, and then 312 only has 3 years left on it.
That one was 302.70, wasn't it?
312 and 35 cents.
Okay.
So we're at what,
So Brian, the
515?
The
2514, is that one set of turnout gear? Or is that just miscellaneous stuff?
That was 1 set of turnout gear,
Okay.
and it had, I don't know if there was boots. Yeah, there's
Yeah, that
boots.
includes a boot, helmets, gloves, and boot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Okay.
that has that.
So that needs approved because that's already.
Yeah, that's on my list
Okay.
that needs approved that I prepared for you all
All
tonight.
right. Let's get that one done. Who we paying? Turnout LLC? Same company or no?
I'm sorry, Fire Safety Services.
Fire Safety Services. All right. Trustee Varian moves to pay Fire Safety Services $2,514 for turnout gear.
Trustee Pierce, second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right. Now we're talking about we've already approved the cleaning of the hazmat stuff to get it picked up. Now we've got to approve the 203 or the 312 for the repairing.
515.47.
Yeah, it's 500.
I'd fix it.
Yeah.
3 years is a while. You might need to buy something else this year.
Right.
We can.
Yeah.
I mean,
I don't think
Well, I thought we were borrowing gear anyway. I thought we're short gear anyhow.
we were waiting on some gear to come in because it was so backlogged.
Oh,
I think
okay.
And we always borrow.
But I mean, we already.
Yeah, we're borrowing
paid
some
to
too.
clean it, we might as well fix it.
Well, go back to that point. It is backlogged and we've had to wait.
Yeah.
We probably have to wait for the gear anyway, so you probably have to fix it anyway.
Yeah.
I
Because
think
if you
this
wanna buy it, you're
gear,
not gonna
I
get
think this gear you just approved was ordered
Yeah, it was ordered
at the end of
a
last
year ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
So I
We're
don't
just
think we
now
have a
getting there.
choice. I think we're gonna have
We're
to
good
fix
with
it.
515.47.
Yeah, 515.47, yes.
Yeah.
270.
And that's Fire Safety Services there.
That's gonna be turnout.
That's turnout.
Yep.
All right, Trustee Varian moves to pay Turnout LLC $203.70 for the repair of one set of gear and $312.35 for the repair of a second set of gear, totaling $516.05.
Trustee Pierce, seconds.
All in favor?
Aye.
So just make a note back to Chief Shear that,
Chief Parker.
yeah, Parker, sorry. She needs to kind of anticipate way ahead of time the gear because the wait time is very, very long to get it. So we can't wait and all of a sudden need it. Because I thought we were using some used gear right now.
Yeah.
So we probably need to fit into the budget how many we're gonna request now. And we'll get them sometime next year.
So that's a great point. I'd like to bring something up too. And I know Brian's been super busy. Something Amy and I have talked about is I would love to sit down and forecast a lot of this because a lot of this stuff isn't surprises. It's stuff we have to do. Like the bottles are a great example. I'd like to forecast our fire department and say these are the 35 things that we pay for every 5 years and list it all, and then we can have a running tally of what's coming. Now, some stuff we don't know. Our employee, they're different size, we need gear. I get that.
Right, but we
Some-
need to leave a cushion there for
Yeah,
those exceptions.
But I feel like if we had an idea of like, this needs checked, this needs service, this needs fixed, this needs a certificate of origin or whatever. So Amy and I have talked about that, and I haven't really bothered Brian with it yet, fiscal officer yet too much because he's super busy. But I'd like to see some more of that forecasting because these 9 bottles need checked, and it'd be nice to see that in the list of like, hey, that's coming. So it's never really a surprise.
Trustee Varian, it isn't so much that I'm busy, it's that you don't have a lot of money this year
Yeah.
until your new money comes
Yeah.
in. So
I'm
you
not
gotta
interested
really-
in spending money. I'm
Yeah.
interested in putting it on. Really, the last
Coming up
5
with a
years.
plan.
Yeah.
Really, the last 5 years of the
Yeah.
doc, I'd want to see an expense report for the fire department for the last 5 years.
Yeah.
Then look at, or even 10, and look
Yeah, I'm
at,
gonna go 10.
look
Because
at
some of
what's
those
being
oxygen
spent.
bottles,
Mhm.
now all of a sudden we have to spend all these thousands
Yeah.
and thousands of dollars, and we should have
Do a little more forward thinking on it. The SBA bottles, Dale, do you, when do we have to, you only get 2 months, 2 or 3 months, and then those are out. How far out do you have to call them to have them inspected? Like, what's the turnaround time on that?
Just whenever they can schedule to get them in. So normally when we've worked with MES, Warren Fire Equipment in the past, and it's normally within a week or two, they can be in our station to do a little testing.
Okay. So we need to get this done, or we're gonna table this for now?
You can,
You might as well get it done.
Okay. All right.
It's not that.
It'd be nice to know where the rest of the bottles are though in that cycle.
The rest of the bottles are our newer bottles we got from Timken Fire. Remember they disbanded, and they will have to be tested next year. They're at 4 years though, so I'll have another year left.
So is
on
that
them.
another 9 bottles then, or?
It's a total of, I think 10, maybe like 10 to 12 bottles.
Okay.
What was the vendor on this again?
That is gonna be, Warren Fire Equipment.
Warren Fire. Trustee Varian moves to pay Warren Fire $456.17 for the inspection of 9 SBA bottles.
Trustee Bureau seconds.
All in favor?
Aye.
The only other thing I had before he does the run report, nothing super crucial on the ambulance. It's moving forward. Thank you to Fiscal Officer Lowry. He's done more paperwork on this lately than I have. I believe he just received a title for it. And so we're moving forward on the chassis. The chassis is getting a box built on it now. It's landed. And so we're moving forward on the ambulance. I don't have it. They haven't given me a timeline of when it's going to land, but the chassis is at the box builder. So that's good news. So yeah, that's what I have on that.
thank you. Captain Nelson, I have a couple quick questions. I just want to double check something here. The dollar amounts you have, do you have those wrote down, or do you have anything hard other than what you have wrote
I
down?
have all the quotes right here for you.
Okay, can you make sure I get that copy of it? I'll make a copy of it so I have it here, so I have these correct.
Yep.
I've got the numbers, but I want to make sure so I can look at that. Trustee Griffith, could I go ahead and pop my 2 in here and
Yep.
update? Trustees, we had scheduled to have Spectrum come in there tomorrow to update all the phone lines. That I got notification earlier today that they were asking, there was some problems with some ports from Spectrum matching up with the AT&T. What they have in there, those lines, those 4 lines. So they've asked to reschedule for next week on the 22nd. So I know Captain Nelson and Amy would need to know that because that Phillips Schwab, everybody's switching to next Tuesday, the 22nd. The other thing is Chief Parker, Sue Puro, and myself were working on this deadline, this Medicare deadline. And that all came together right up to the wire on the last day. We did get it submitted in time. We got confirmation. What that is, that survey is something that we were handpicked out of Stark County. We were the only ones got picked to do that. But by completing that survey, it saves like a 20% fee on all Medicare expenses. And that equates to about $20,000.
That's great.
But I commend Sue and Amy getting the stuff to us. It was kind of a crash course to get it in, and Ohio billing did help some, but if you remember, I asked for a $1,200 approval, and I'm not knocking them, but it seemed like they didn't do a lot for $1,200.
Yeah.
It seemed like in-house, we were doing a lot of that work, but it was good to have them there for backup. So
$20,000 savings is great.
Yeah, it's like almost 20,000, like 19,000
wonderful.
something. If I took last year's numbers of what we did.
Right.
So could you tell us a little bit about the booth at the festival for the fire department?
I don't actually know much about it. I wasn't there,
Okay.
so I was unable to attend.
Did you make it down at all, Mary?
I was there Friday night, and they had a good turnout Friday. They had a chief and assistant chief. Casey was there as well. My kids sprayed the hose. They had some things laid out on the table. So I was there Friday, and they had a good representation. Both ambulances were there. We were excited for the parade this year. Amy and I were really excited. All 5 vehicles were in the parade.
Oh, nice.
And she can't remember the last time we had enough people available to drive all 5 vehicles. So both ambulances, the grass truck, the tanker, and the engine were all lined up in the parade
Nice.
because they had enough help. So it's really cool. She was really excited. And this, she gave me a report that this coming schedule is the best schedule we've seen in months. Call it year, possibly. It's almost full.
Are,
Which is really
are we still sitting at, we have 18 now
Yep.
on the roster?
So that's exciting. We've got people, not only are there people on the roster, there's people willing to work, and we're able to fit them in,
Yeah.
which is really great.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Anything else, Captain?
That is all I have. We ran 47 calls, 36 ALS calls, and 11 fires. We had mutual aid that we gave to Plain Township, Canton City twice, Canton Township twice, and Louisville once. We received mutual aid on a fire on Osnaburg Street from multiple agencies, and received mutual aid on a large accident from multiple agencies as well.
Did you say you had 11 fires?
We had 11 fire calls. It's anything from brush fires to lines down, service calls.
Okay.
Anything just
None of that was, none of those were structured, correct?
We had no structure fires.
Okay.
I know that the bottom 2, they had multiple agencies, but I'm loving seeing 6
Yeah.
mutual aids to, and 2 mutual aids from. That's great. That's great that we're able to help. A lot of times when the schedule's been weak, it's been the other way around. So it's good. All right.
Thank you very much.
Thanks for being here.
And you just need to make sure fiscal officer gets those papers. But you don't have to sit through the rest if you don't want to. You're free to go.
All right.
Leave it up to you. You're
You
welcome to
know, I
stay.
work at Copper. That's right.
Thanks, man.
Thank you.
Just give me a copy of what you have. Thank you, Mayor.
All right, let's move on to the cemetery report.
Sexton Shear asked me to give that report. I don't know if any of you all been up around through the village here. The tree removal has been completed. I had the bill invoiced that matched with the matched up. Okay, thank you. Matched up with the quote, the $4,225. I have that prepared tonight, so that's there. You don't have to really do anything. I just wanted to let you know it's complete. It looks nice from what I can see. I mean, I was impressed. They did everything they said. Seeded it, filled it in. It looks good.
Great.
The second part of that is we had one open and closing since the last meeting was the overly open closing at Mapleton. We didn't do any collection because that was a prepaid, but I wanted to make note that I make that documentation on that because we now will pay our grave digger for that job. All cemeteries have been mowed. Now we're on the 3rd time. We'll go to the 4th time, starting in next week and the following week. But I told him to hold off because we just now got our first rain, so we can stretch this out now with the goal being that we mow right before July 4th weekend.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
I
great.
definitely, will,
Yeah.
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
saving money
Because
with
they-
all this dry spell.
Yeah, and also Jim and I had a discussion that come in August and September, we're going to try to do it where we'll stretch it as far as we can. So we save, like only have 11 or 12 mows. So we save one. So we would have some available to mow for the Wreaths Across America, or if we needed to do a cleanup over
An
there.
extra mow.
So we are, even though things are tight, real tight with that, he's working with us to let you all know.
I had a question, and I'm guessing that we are too late, but are we too late to go with the August ballot instead of the November?
Definitely too late. We have to be in, right now, we have to be in by August 8th. You'll see in your file that the resolutions that you did at the last meeting, I have them prepared in there where you're signing checks. You'll see that those are what I give to the county auditor. Once he gives that back, then I go to prepare the ballot. And I did talk to legal counsel on that. She feels that I can just duplicate, I just gotta change dates, and then she looked them over. But I have to then prepare the ballot on that 3-year continuation, or a 3-year deadline instead of a continuation with the cemetery that you asked to do. So that's in there, in the vocabulary.
Okay. All right, what else did you have for the cemetery?
That's
Anything?
it.
That's it? All right, let's move on to the road report.
You don't need a motion for the tree. It's
Okay.
already done.
Yes.
You already good. I just want to point out it's done, and you have that in your paperwork to sign off tonight.
Okay, Superintendent Unkerfer.
Good evening, everybody. If the trustees have read over the road report, is there any questions you'd like to ask?
Front and back of 4 pages. You guys are really getting a lot done here, brother.
Well, now 3 weeks before meeting.
Yeah.
So that's all it is.
You got your Durapatcher back up and running?
Yes.
Good.
Yep, it's back up and run good.
All right, good.
Everything's fixed on both pieces of equipment we had to order parts for, so. Yeah, last week was kind of a breakdown week. We have made it around the whole township once mowing. Some of that, a lot of that was only two passes, but now we're starting back through and then we're gonna start reaching back farther now with the boom mower and trying to go back as far as we can reach as we go back through.
So I see why our report is so long. Because we repeated Wednesday, May 31st, June 1st, June 2nd, June 5th. They're repeated on here. And I thought you were really busy.
I need to ask for PO for both the parts that we had to get for the mow trim and for the Durapatcher. PO, we need to ask for the mow trim, which is a flail mower, 58.5, was 607.14.
Trustees, that's a then and now you need to do.
Okay.
Trustee Puro moves then and now to pay for low trim part $607.14.
Trustee Varian, second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Trustee Puro moves for then and now for Leader Inc. for rubber ears for the Durapatcher at a cost of $805.51.
Trustee Varian, second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Trustee Puro moves for then and now for Black Sheep Fabricating for the repairs on the boom mower in the amount of $1,024.
Trustee Varian, second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So have we set a date? Well, we didn't open our bid yet, did we?
That don't happen until the next.
That doesn't end until like,
Yeah,
Are they giving us any idea, any of the people who might be applying, when they might be showing up?
Well, usually it all comes into that.
Calls them the day before, doesn't it?
They're supposed to have it in on Friday, the 23rd, so we'll know better on that.
it's usually somewhere in that vicinity of the 2nd to 3rd week of August. Somewhere in there.
no, not when the bids come in.
No,
That'll be.
to try to do the
next
chip
week.
and seal.
Next week, the bids will.
Next
Yes.
week.
Yeah.
Yes. I was trying to answer that question. That's usually when we have it done. is
Yeah,
in
I just don't
August.
want them to push us to September.
No,
Okay.
yeah, we will not do that.
And we didn't do the fire department parking lot yet.
No, that'll be done when they come down to, whoever
That's
does the
gonna be the same
roads
time.
will do the fire department then.
Okay,
On
so
their
we're
regular-
just, we have the reconstruction done and we're letting it set now.
Yeah,
Okay.
letting it settle.
Okay,
Dive on it a little
Fire
bit.
department's been staying off of it, not doing any,
Big turning around.
well, that and not doing any of their training.
Yeah, they're training
Where
back
they're
there,
spraying
washing
water down
stuff
across
away.
it. They're staying down on the old driveway and doing everything.
Yeah.
So,
I was curious, did they charge us to move those, did they charge us to move their recycling bins or was that?
no.
Good, I was just curious. about
John
that.
came up and just moved them where we wanted. He said,
Oh, he
call
did,
me whenever.
they didn't use with the dump truck to do it, he moved it himself.
No, he used the big garbage truck to
Oh, cool.
pick them up.
Pick
put
them up,
over.
drop them. I was
Yeah.
curious about that, if they charge for that or not. Okay.
No, he was willing to come up and do that whenever he came to, dump stuff.
When they go to do the chip and seal, they just set them in the grass for.
We're gonna have to. We'll just have
Yeah.
to set them back there, maybe at the back there, off in the grass or something.
Stick up for a couple days.
Right where they're at right now, it's kind of hard to do that because there's a ditch along there with limestone in there. It feeds
Doesn't
down
help.
around to where the catch basin is. They're going down the main front driveway, so it'll have to be somewhere back there in the back.
Okay.
So
okay.
How are your employees working? Good?
everybody's working out good.
Good. Your newest guys working good?
Yep, both Mike and Bernie are doing really good.
Good.
Ray informed me, Butler, that he said he'll probably be retiring at the end of August. So I'd like to start trying to look for another person.
I thought that's why we hired Bernie.
Well, still would be nice to have that other person.
Okay, so another part-time.
No?
You just need two guys. We're actually three guys heavy right now. Your two guys, Bernie takes the place of Ray, but these two guys, Mike and Bernie, work all year round part-time now.
How many hours are they getting?
About 20, 24.
Yeah,
Okay.
20 to 24.
Okay.
You don't
And
want to
Bernie-
go past that. We're okay
Mike's-
right now, but you don't want to go past that all year round to have three part-time guys. all the
Mike's
time.
CDO, right?
Right.
Bernie's not.
That's why I didn't
Yeah,
think we needed
Right.
it.
Right.
that's when I gave you all numbers, that was what it was, is go ahead and bring this guy in, Bernie, let him train and work with these guys. Then when Ray officially says when he leaves, you got the guy in
You
place.
said August?
And Ray told me too, though, he said if something happens and we would be in a bind, he said he could possibly work next summer helping mow, but he
Okay.
says, go ahead and do what you gotta do though, he said, as far as.
How do you do that, Brian? Could you keep him on as a sub? Keep all the stuff in the system?
You can keep him in the system, you
Okay.
just- when he officially says he's retiring, he
Right.
retires, and then he comes out of
Sure.
retirement.
But if
And
he
he
decides to step away and stay as a
Yeah.
sub, then we could maybe call on him if we needed to.
You can do that.
You don't have to train him,
Yeah.
day here, day there. Yeah,
Right.
okay.
Well, he's not retiring from the OPER system, so that
No.
doesn't become a factor.
Oh, yeah,
So he
okay.
doesn't
I
have to
got you.
officially.
He's not collecting Oprah's end. Yeah, I see.
No.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Okay, that's it for road then.
I think so.
Sounds good.
All right, let's move on to zoning.
Okay, since the last meeting, had 5 permits issued. I know I got a couple more that are on the desk waiting to be reviewed and finished up. So, most of them are for like garages or pools, but
Good. That's great. I like to see that kind of money coming in on the zoning report. That's great. That's wonderful.
over on the nuisance side, I got a phone call about a house on Ravenna as you go out 44 towards Louisville. Had tall grass out front and there was garbage bags and boxes. I drove by the one day and they were bringing stuff out and like cleaning out the house, so that's where that came from. And then I drove by today and it was all cleaned up and they mowed it, so that's all taken care of. And then over on Oakfield, there's that house that's got the big opening in the side of it and had the trees and everything grown up around it. And that was on Facebook people were complaining about it as well. Before I reached out to them, actually, the new owner of the property called me because he has planned to tear the house down and replace it with another building, another house. So that's what he's planning to do with it, and he was out there mowing it today when I drove past. So it did look a lot better than it did.
Good.
And no more response on the building without the permit?
I drove past, I don't have nothing. I didn't talk to him, but I drove by there one day. They definitely could drive a fire truck between the building and the house. There was a dually pickup there and there was room on both sides. There's probably enough room you could pull into the house garage. It's not with a fire truck, but with a regular.
Regular truck.
Mhm.
It's wider than what we think.
Mm.
I don't have actual measurements, but I just kind of noticed when I went through.
So then really, the only issue we have is that they didn't pull their permit.
Mhm.
Can we just send them a bill?
What is it, $100?
175,
Or is
175.
it like?
175 now. Yeah, we can send them a bill, can we?
I think we can. I don't know why they must not have got the county permit because they would have had to have ours to get the county.
Mhm.
But that's the county's problem.
Yeah,
So why don't we just send them a bill?
I think that's fair.
yeah.
You know, if we think that, and actually, we don't even have to think that. If there's not a neighbor complaining that it's across boundary lines, and even if it is, a complaint has to go to small court
Yeah.
between them, not with us. So let's just notify him that he was required to get a permit and give him an invoice for the permit.
Okay.
Sounds good.
I've just meant about a fire, I don't think there's any issue there. We wouldn't have no.
Yeah, so that's why I'm saying, if you think it's clear that way,
Yeah, I think
let's
you're
just
right.
get the permit money
I
then.
think you spent enough time on it now. Let's send them a bill and move on.
Put it to bed.
Well, because he doesn't have that much more room there, so he can't really build a whole lot more.
Yeah, he's
Right.
gonna be done.
Okay.
And then the other one on Ravenna is the opposite way as you head towards Waynesburg. That's the old schoolhouse with tall grass and stuff. Nothing's changed there yet. And then same as over on Broadway with the junk vehicles that everybody was complaining about.
Yeah.
And I was going to reach out to the health department to see what they found out, but I didn't have a chance to yet.
Okay.
The zoning commission would have their meeting next Monday, but we haven't heard back from our consultants, so we're gonna cancel.
Well, it's the prosecutor that we're waiting for, correct? Not the consultant. We don't have a
Yeah.
consultant.
Prosecute.
So, but you're gonna contact them and let them know they need to get that to us within no more than 3 weeks, because we have to do it in July.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that was, we were asking them to review the language that we created for the mobile homes,
Okay.
is what they're working on.
Good.
So, we have to wait till 8:30 to do that. So we'll wait on that.
Okay.
Anything else on zoning, Mary?
That's all I have for you.
All right, we're moving
Good job,
along
Mary.
here. Old township business. Do we have any old township business? Nobody old here, huh? New township business. Mr. Lowry.
Back usually at the 1st of May, I bring this to you about we do a donation payment to the American Legion. With all the stuff going on, I missed it to request that of you. It's budgeted that we do it, and we actually had increased it 2 years ago from 100 to 200 because they supply our cemeteries, the fire station with flags, and those are running about $36 a piece. So
Okay.
until you get done, I had prepared it for tonight so that we could get it to them, to get it caught up to them, because we usually have it to them by now.
Trustee Barry moves to pay Lowell Ogley Memorial Day payment to the American Legion of $200.
Trustee Pierce, second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Then the next one there is you'll see that on your prepared documents that are in the check signing, the ATARMA liability insurance that we do every year. Normally that's around $15,889. It's a little higher. We did make some tweaks on some of those replacements last year going into the new year, along with the equipment we, got, like the one road truck, different things that changed just a little bit. There wasn't anything major, and then they had some terrorist stuff and some other things on there that was a few dollars here or there. But that premium, we get a projected $900 and some back on a rebate. I call it a rebate. It's like by paying it, you get that back. So it's really going to be around only about $800 or $900 more than what it was last year, instead of a couple $1,000s more
Okay.
once you get that back. But that's a standard thing that gets done in the month of July.
So you need standard approval for that?
Yes.
Okay. Trustee Varian moves to pay Otarma $17,159 for liability insurance.
Trustee Pure seconds.
All in favor?
Aye. What do you think, Randy? Can you do an executive session in
Yep.
15 minutes?
I can do it at 5.
Okay,
Let's do it now.
let's do it now. We need the sheet.
Yep.
Here you go.
Trustee Piro moved to go into executive session 8:15 for matters required to be kept confidential.
Trustee Varian second.
I'll make a note that we will be back in session by 8:30 for our hearing. And if you guys can just step out for a few minutes while we do that executive session, and then come back in. Roll call.
Pure,
Yes.
Griffith,
Yes.
Darren,
Yes. They both have their own office to go to. Look at that. Can work on the stuff.
don't say anything yet. I hear everything shut down now. Don't say anything, but everything shut down.
You can leave the camera on, Brian. Just turn the sound off.
Good thing you remembered, because I would have forgot.
They're still here. They didn't leave.
We thought about it.
We thought about it.
Everything's back on.
Oh,
Are we back on?
Now we can make the motions to come back. Okay, you got the floor there.
oh, I'm making a motion. Sorry. Trustee Varian moves to come out of executive session at 8:25.
Trustee Pure, second.
Roll call, Baron.
Yep.
Hero.
Yes.
Griffith.
Yes. So thank you, everyone, for your patience. We do have a few minutes here till 8:30 to start that hearing. So I'll ask, are there any questions that anyone has?
Do we need, I mean, unless Stu wants to stay for the hearing, he can go, okay,
Oh, yeah, you don't have to stay.
unless you want.
You're welcome to stay, you can leave. Mary has to stay because she's a zoning inspector.
She was telling me.
When they were deciding if they were going to leave or not, she's like, I can't.
Yeah, on that note, I will,
I do. I do. Advice to.
all right, you guys have a wonderful evening.
So while we're waiting for that 8:30 time, I
Yes.
will mention that the zoning commission, as Mary said, won't be meeting this month because we didn't get an answer back yet from the prosecutor. But I believe they're also going to take off the month of August because of fair, because just about everybody on that board is involved in the fair.
Okay.
So they won't be meeting that third Monday in August either
Okay.
due to that.
Gotcha.
But hopefully if they get this information back from the prosecutor, they can start in July the formal process and get it sent off, or at least get it prepared for September.
Just a point of reference, Dale didn't talk much about it, but we had another mutual aid to Canton City for the burning of tires at the brickyard. There's piles and piles of tires.
Why doesn't the health department remove those?
I don't know, waiting for them to be burned, I guess. So East Canton was mutual aid to Canton City on the tire burn. And then they had a rollover on Orchard View, like right then. So they had to go service that one. But Lindsay was servicing the rollover, and his truck comes rolling by, just stacked full of tires, heading that way. So she took a picture of the truck. She thinks she's got a good license plate number, but it looked like he was heading back,
Yeah.
with the trailer. But
Well,
they were back there putting the fire out. So They were-
he was back there.
yeah, they were back in the brickyard. They were back in there putting the fire out. When they came out, Canton City had said, "All right, we're good. You can go." So they're still back there in this truck. She thought it was heading toward the pile. So it's in concern. I mean, it's not a couple tires; it's piles. Of
What I
tires.
was under the understanding someone bought that.
Somebody had said, I forget who told us that they were going to clean it up.
It's, the auditor told me they're working.
They're going to work on cleaning it up. Yeah.
Yeah, I think they're working on a buyer.
Okay.
I thought it was.
I think,
already done.
I don't.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know
But
that.
I've kind of heard the same noise too.
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine taking a truck and trailer back here to dump tires. I would be nervous wreck, and I sure as hell.
But you're not allowed to haul more than,
Yeah. You're not supposed
Is
to
it-
haul more than 10 tires.
I was gonna say, I
10 in a
think
truck
it's
at one
10.
time.
Without. some
Without-
kind
Yeah.
of-
slip.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
but there's nowhere out this way that you'd be legitimately hauling them to. There's no place out this
No,
way
there's no.
that would accept them.
If you're heading to Minerva to the tire place, it's different. If you're heading out 30.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, so they mutual aided on that. And so, and I ran into Chief Bordner today at the Wendy's in Louisville and asked him where he sold his last ambulance that they were getting rid of. And he said Gov Deals. He said the last ambulance they got rid of was on a Gov Deals deal.
That's a good one.
And he said the other thing you can do on that, which I didn't realize this, I'm glad I asked. He said you can pay the fee yourself. You can put 50% of it to the buyer or to the seller, or you can put the entire fee to Gov Deals toward the buyer. And then he said, so it's for him and Canton, for Louisville City, he didn't have to show a fee to the city to sell it. It went all to the buyer. The fee all went to the buyer. He probably got a little less for the ambulance, but
Yeah,
there was no cost to sell it. So
yeah,
it was kind of nice.
yeah.
So I bumped into him at Wendy's today at lunch, and we chatted a minute about getting rid of that ambulance. So yeah.
I will say that at the festival, and I don't know what happened, something happened where I think it was a kid maybe got a bloody nose or something, but it was all over. And so we had to go get Chief Parker to come over and clean it up.
Okay.
Because there was a lot of,
Got it.
and she, it was good that she was there. Nobody was hurt.
But it was
I
a
mean,
mess.
maybe-
It was a mess.
Yeah.
Well, and I wonder, I've heard some horror stories about some of this equipment around town, not to beat anybody up, but I've heard people come to Osnaburg and say, boy, my A job ambulance is barely running. Our equipment's in great condition compared to theirs. We've heard that a lot. So I wonder if I should talk to Amy about putting together a one-sheeter once it's time to sell the old ambulance, pictures and some details, and we rebuilt the tranny and put it out there to Kansas City. And someone might want it as a backup ambulance,
Right.
if it's reasonable.
Right.
Rather than on gov deals, we maybe can sell it local to somebody that might be able to use it in town.
Well, you could always do that first before you put it out.
Yeah, and see if you get any bites on it. You make it cheap enough, someone will say, I'll buy a running
Yeah,
ambulance
you
for
put, we're gonna
a
post this
backup.
on Gov Deals at this time.
at this time. Yeah. So
Yeah.
I want to be ready to go on that because when the new one lands, I'd like to not have a bunch of equipment sitting around. So
Right. Okay, well, it's 8:30, so we're gonna get started here. And look at Brian's paperwork. We received from the Osnaburg Township Zoning Commission, a zoning amendment number OS number 1, 2023. This was sent through regional planning and came back. And then we also sent it to legal counsel for recommendation. And this was just to strengthen the language we have in the regular zoning rules on surface mining, strip mining, things like that, because we had a little bit, but not much. We took and matched our language pretty much to what is in the state regulations. And then with a little bit more added for the protection of the residents.
okay.
So I will say, reading the prosecutor's recommendation, the only thing he's recommending on the first page there, under section 1103, on item number 5 that we were adding, this is an addition.
Okay.
It references that the reclamation plan would go to the zoning commission, and he's recommending that it go to the BZA.
Okay.
So my suggested or motion to change this before we vote to accept it would be make it approved by the Osnaburg Township BZA, not zoning commission.
Okay.
So I'd like that change made. And up above, you can see where there's some strike through. That's some language we removed out of the current book.
Okay. So that's BZA.
And then if you flip over to which would be the third page, under M, his other suggestion was that in that current site map, and again, the conditions of the reclamation needs to go to the BZA, not the zoning commission. So it's under M.
Oh, I see it. Yeah. Zoning
So
commission
we would
approval.
change that to BZA,
Okay.
Board of Zoning Appeals, I should say. It would be the full words, Board of Zoning Appeals.
So they want all this to go to the Board of Zoning Appeals, not the commission. It looks like a lot of this is going to the Board of
Well,
Zoning
this is
Appeals.
all in our book,
Yeah.
but those final site maps and stuff would go to
Okay.
the BZA for approvals.
Okay.
And I'm sure that's fine with the commission. I think they thought because they were doing it,
Yeah. Okay.
So that's the only two changes. And again, our language is compatible with the ORC in this, but we did add a few more things to protect our residents, a little bit more distance for border
Mhm.
of property and things like that.
Okay. So could we approve this with these changes?
Yes, it
Okay.
doesn't need to go back to the commission.
Okay.
They sent what they recommended.
Got it.
The regional planning recommended we have legal counsel just review it, which we did. And that was the only two items the legal counsel has recommended that we change. So we can accept those changes
Okay.
and then approve it as it is. And currently, there's no one here for the hearing, so.
Yeah.
So I would like to make a motion that we change Section 1103, item number 5, from zoning commission to BZA,
Mhm.
Board of Zoning Appeals. And section M, again, Board of Zoning Appeals, and remove the commission. Other than that, my motion would be to accept it with those 2 changes.
Trustee Varian would like to second that motion.
Is there any other discussion on it? All right, roll call.
Varian,
Yes.
Hero,
Yes.
Griffith.
Yes.
Is this the time slot starts for getting it filed
Mhm.
and
Yes.
recorded, I should
Yeah.
say?
But you'll have to correct those 2 and then give him a clean copy. Or the
Do
changes
you
that we
need
made.
this one, or do you want,
I can take it.
I'm gonna give it,
She can fix it then.
here, let me give this. These are advertisements where I advertise it. Just put that quick in there.
So Mary, once you change it in the computer, then, and then there's something that you do, you put it in the book as an amendment or,
Mhm.
okay.
Yeah.
That's it?
So with that, we're done with that hearing. We'll close the hearing out. No one appeared. It's 8:36.
Trustee Bureau moves to pay bills and
Adjourn.
adjourn.
Trustee Varian, second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you.
We had a meeting, an executive session, and a hearing in 1 hour and 5 minutes. That's a record.
You should have been here whenever we had executive session for like 2 hours, and we come out here and they were all staring at the wall.
Like, what the
They
heck?
were gonna kill us.
What are we still doing here?
Yeah, because it was an early one.
Yeah, but I think we went in, went in at like 8 and came out at like 10. Then we had to do the rest of the
They
meeting.
just did the rest of the meeting. That's fun.
Did